Hello YouTubers, and welcome back to the channel. Today's just going to be a short news brief regarding the news that just came out a few days ago about India banning non-basmati rice exports to the rest of the world. Now, you know, here on this channel I don't do a lot of fear-mongering type videos and thumbnails with mushroom clouds and all that kind of stuff, and it's not my goal here to cause anxiety and panic in people to get clicks and views. This issue, though, I thought deserves some coverage, and we're just going to talk about it a little bit today and give you some facts that is coming out through various news sources. Here's what we do know so far. USA Rice put out this information just a few days ago. The government of India confirmed they have imposed a ban on non-basmati rice exports, pointing to domestic production concerns. The ban could impact as much as 80% of India's rice exports. I saw one number that India supplies about 40% of the rice to the U.S. I don't know how accurate that number is. There's been some environmental issues India is citing that hindered production, and that they're holding back this product to feed their nation first before they release stocks up to the rest of the world. Crop planting has been impacted by uneven rainfall in recent weeks and has resulted in rising domestic prices of rice and other commodities. The Indian government is citing repression of domestic rice prices as the reason for implementing the radical ban. The last time such a ban was put in place was in 2007 and then again in 2008, contributing to skyrocketing world rice prices and further exacerbating food insecurity in countries reliant upon rice imports. The article goes on to say this is just another example of India playing games with global food security. Now, this USA Rice has more knowledge than I do about the rice business, obviously. So I don't know what the politics are about it. You know, with the way our world is today, with greed and all kinds of food shortages and all these things going on, that I certainly can look at and understand that there is some manipulation on a lot of this stuff going on across the world. By who and exactly why always isn't as clear, but I'm sure greed is ultimately at the end of the line if you follow the money. The writer of this article goes on to say, where in the world will rice importers find nearly 20 million metric tons to replace India's presence? In other words, that's what they would look to need to replace by India banning these exports. A Mississippi rice farmer and chair of USA Rice weighed in on one of the latest developments, saying enough is enough. USA Rice is calling on the Biden administration to see this political stunt for what it is and to act quickly to initiate a case against India at the WTO through a formal request for consultations. That sounds like a lot of mouthful of stuff to me, and the fact that we're looking to the Biden administration to sort this out would cause enough concern in itself, in my opinion. In another news article by Business Today, the article starts out saying the rice ban has caused panic buying in the population of North America, Europe, and West Asia due to the possibility of rice scarcity. Now we get to the point of what I'm reporting here to you and how it could impact the average person on a daily basis. The article in Business Today goes on to say that in the U.S., the impact of this ban is being felt by large areas and communities. Many worry about the availability and cost of rice, leading to a rush to stock up on it. Local grocery stores have reported an increase in sales of bags, with some customers buying in bulk. It concludes with the rice ban has caused panic buying. Now, folks, we see this all the time. We saw it in 2020. And, if there's something that irritates me is when some chucklehead will see the news on these kinds of things and start touting, it's because of those people that are hoarding food. What emergency preparedness people teach, what I try to teach people, is you want to have a little bit of stuff and supplies put back. So when something like this happens, you're not the guy over there in the store, fighting and climbing over people, trying to get that last bag of rice and all this, insane behavior, the last roll of toilet paper, etc. My view on preparedness is so that I'm not that person. Hoarding everything you can get in the 11th hour when the supplies are running out and everybody's hungry and rushing the store, to me is just animalistic behavior, and we're seeing it more and more. Emergency preparedness means that you had some of this stuff at home from when times were good and times were normal. Well, today, people are literally going crazy in grocery stores. There's videos online of, those same scenes that we saw in 2020 over toilet paper, now over rice. The article goes on to say that this problem is spreading rapidly. As a result, long lines are forming outside of grocery stores throughout the region. The report added a bag of 9 kilograms rice is sold at $27. So in other words, prices are going to skyrocket on whatever you can get now. Panic buying has been witnessed in Texas, Michigan, and New Jersey. Here in these cities, some stores have imposed sales limits, here we go with that again, such as selling only one rice bag per customer. I've looked at some of the responses to several news articles that people write online, and you're always going to get interesting comments there, but some of the comments about, well, I don't eat rice anyways, and I don't like rice, and too bad for you, and all that kind of stuff, is very short-sighted thinking. You have a gluten-free member in your family, somebody with food allergies. Here's a common box of gluten-free pasta, and you look at the ingredients and rice flour. And I can go through all kinds of products like that, pet foods, the list just goes on and on. Not to mention the fact that people that do eat a lot of rice as part of their diet, part of their culture, they will be looking for alternative food sources to fill that gap, which will cause shortages on maybe things that you do eat, like pasta, whatever, fill in the blank. So these problems like this, folks, have a greater impact than maybe just your little circle in the box that you live in. And I think it's important to be mindful of that, how these things can spread into a bigger problem. Right now, let's just all hope that this is just, something India maybe pulled for market leveraging, and it'll release soon, and we'll get back to business as usual. It's just something that I felt important to report here on my channel so that my viewers are aware of it, something that we can keep an eye on and just monitor in the coming days and see what develops in this very critical situation. Folks, I'll tell you, one of the frustrations a person like me that has some professional training in emergency response and critical incident is talking about this topic with people. It automatically puts you in the category of a stupid TV show that they watched years ago. These are the kinds of things that are happening in our world today. Our world is becoming more and more tumultuous every day. Globally, there are more problems and there is more instability across the world today, I think, than possibly any time we've ever seen before in history. It would be foolish, in my opinion, for anybody living in that environment to not say, maybe it'd be a good idea for me to think about what I'm going to have in my home for my family as these ups and downs occur. What's next? Nobody knows. But we can be assured that there are going to be problems and there are going to be disruptions, and that's just the world we live in. I don't know what's coming tomorrow, but I do know that there's always uncertainty in everything in life. So just remember, get ready so that you and your family can succeed and thrive.